Hello, everyone. It is Percy number 6. Yeah, Percy's ever present past. It's not dead. It's still alive. It is alive and doing well, just like our year 2017. And I figured what would be a better way to start than to have someone who recently returned and have my first ever two-time guest on Percy's ever present past, none other than Ted. Ted, how are you doing?
I am doing absolutely positive right now, Percy. How are you? How are you?
Well, at my time at 1:35 in the morning, I am doing fantastic and I thought what would be a better time than 1:35, 2:35 for you than to do an improv 2, Percy's ever present past.
No better time, Percy. This is when we always talk.
Exactly. So, I mean, I guess we can go into the questions. I guess now is the time for questions.
Sure, sure.
So, well, let's start out with the obvious one. I'm sure people, if they probably wonder, why did you leave in the first place?
Well, in quick summary, I just didn't have any time to make videos. The only thing I could do was make clips for other people, and so I figured if I couldn't make my episodes and I couldn't do the things I want, I might as well leave. And that on top of the fact that my whole room was being used for videos and not much else. And so it was just got to a point where I didn't have any time for videos, and I was just frustrated that I was still officially a member when I couldn't make anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So when did you decide? When did you decide that you wanted to come back?
Well, in I think it was May of 2016, give or take. Then
Mm-hmm.
there was some excuse I had. I think it was there's something that I can't remember it now, but for some reason I could use the videos for something else in my personal life, and I found a very good excuse to make videos again. And I found time, and so I decided. I only attempted to only tell two people, even though it leaked further than this, but not too much further. Only another half dozen or so
Mm-hmm.
knew outside of this, but I only told yourself as well as Hero the Japanese Train, Matt Twillman, about it, and had I made the majority of 4 episodes when I was away, and I had you guys voicing it, and I was going to have between that and Real People be my full voice cast, and then I was going to come back with all these ready episodes. Didn't quite work out that way. I had a big computer class crash in June,
Ugh.
and that stopped all my momentum completely in its tracks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's terrible, and I know you've been having problems lately with Camtasia as well.
That's not quite as big as a deal, but yeah, I'm just trying to render stuff right now. It's just not working.
Ugh, I know what that's like, but hey, I mean you're back. That's great. How's it? So like, what are some people you've talked to that you haven't talked to either in so long, or you've met for the first time and started to talk to?
Well, everyone but you fits that description because I hadn't talked to anyone almost at all except for you since I left.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've talked to the vast majority. In terms of Skype calls, I've talked to a good number. You know, the Eric Pierre a lot. I've one new person that I met, which I've really enjoyed. The company is Master of the Lemons.
Okay.
We call him Lemmy, and he's just a really great person to talk to. We've ended up having these long Skype calls similar to the type that we have when we just talk about Railway Series stuff.
Mm-hmm. He's your Railway Series guy.
He's my Railway Series guy, exactly. And he's also in California, so then I could talk to 5 a.m. and he can only talk to 2 a.m.
Oh, that's good. I mean, that's good for you. You're usually up pretty late.
Yeah, and up early too. Who needs more than 2 hours of sleep a night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like, who needs sleep?
Very true. But I broad sweep of people. The majority of my old friends that I used to Skype with often, I Skype with now.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the people I used to message with, I've been messaging with. It hasn't really changed much in that sense.
That's pretty good. That's interesting. I'm happy that you're back. It seems weird because like I've talked to you for forever, even when you were away, so it doesn't seem that different. But now you're making videos. Now when I talk to you about TWR stuff, you actually understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you understand now. I actually understand things like good morning and the welcoming of the Stanley.
Yes. Well, You know what? On the subject of that, I'm going to try something. We're going to have a little segment where I go over things that happened in 2016, and I want to see if you actually know what that is, or
Dear Lord.
yeah.
So you're gonna quiz me on stuff now.
Yeah. So I'm on the very handy dandy, and I'm not letting you go on there, even though I have no control over your computer access. The handy dandy Thomas Wooden Railway Community to refresh my memory. Uh, but first and foremost, I'm going to ask you this. When I say Baja Blast and Pitch Black, what does that make you think?
MPS.
Correct, correct. There was the big decision in July of last year. Yeah, weird, it's 2016's last year now, but in 2016, in the summer, July, I'm pretty sure, we had that big decision, and I got delayed for a few days, and then the community went in a whole depression for a while because Baja Blast lost to Pitch Black. Uh,
There you go.
like, you don't understand how much that soda means to everyone.
Sure. I don't think it was a canon in the first place, so sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
What? I'm pretty sure it wasn't. That's what I hear from Eric. Uh, but talking about Canada, we're gonna talk about somebody who is in Canada. Wooden Railway Reviews, Rob. He interviewed last year. He interviewed somebody involved with the Thomas Wooden Railway line. Do you know who that is?
Oh, I know this one. I saw this video. Roy Wilson.
Correct. He did interview Roy Wilson. It's still on YouTube. That was a very interesting interview, that's for sure.
It was, dear Lord. Only 300 white faces.
Mm-hmm.
Confirmed.
Yeah. And you had two.
I had two.
Had, unfortunately. But you still have one.
No, not unfortunately, because I got a lot of stuff from that trade. One little item got me like 3 dozen other items, and like valuable items too. There was troublesome trucks, troublesome brake vans, you name it, coaches, a lot of mics, you name it.
You know what? It's a wrestling quote, so not many people will understand it, but I will say it anyway. Everyone has a price. That's what it comes to my mind.
Well, yeah, that trade. One day we were just joking around about trading white faces, and then I was being serious because, in all reality, I would prefer 100 other items to one white face when I had two. And so then Matt made me an offer, and I negotiated up to what I wanted it to be, and then we agreed upon that. And it was a joke at the start, and then it wasn't a joke, and then it happened.
Huh? Crazy. That's amazing. I mean, white face, those are just so hard to come by, or without having to pay hundreds of dollars.
Well, he had to pay hundreds of dollars in terms of the amount of the value of the items he was sending me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
like
true.
The thing it was in the end of the day, it was like a troublesome brake van, 3 gray faces, 4 express coaches, I think it was 3 mics, 2 mics, 4 coldies. You can list them all and on the other stuff that we picked too, but it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars of stuff he's sending me.
Well, what you have to do for a white face.
Yeah, it is. It's the equivalent value. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, those items are probably worth less to him than they are to me because he has hundreds of everything.
Yeah.
Matt's like a wooden railway warehouse.
If the wooden railway line went down, they know where to go.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I got another one for you now. Now, last year, at the beginning of the year, we saw the closure of a group channel. Do you know what group channel that was?
I have 2 guesses.
Okay.
Oh, I was involved in both of these, so I should really know this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, okay, there's one big hint. This video is going on your channel, so I'm going to say community radio.
Community radio is correct. That was, from what it says, the last video was uploaded to community radio on January 3rd, 2016, so a little over a year ago.
Man, it didn't last long after I left.
No, it didn't. That's why this is on my channel now.
Still a great show.
I think I know what your other guess was, but what was your other guess?
I have no clue if Tank Engine Studios is still a thing.
That's what I thought. I don't think the members, including myself, know too. So
Good to know that
yeah,
you don't know.
we'll find out about that eventually, I guess. So
Very good.
so next, I have some meetups I want to talk to you about. Now, this one,
Oh boy.
yeah, we'll start out with these happened in spring, summer. Oh,
So when I left, there had only been 3 meetups ever in the community when I left, and 2 of them involved me. So
there's a few
I,
more.
I think there's like 2 dozen now.
We'll start out with this one. Now, usually when you meet up with somebody, you can only do it once if you're lucky twice. However, these two people have met up multiple times. Who are these two users?
I know MPS is one of them for sure.
Correct. Well, that's a good guess.
That is a very good guess. If there's a meetup, it's with him.
Mhm.
um, oh, it was Milk Tanker Media.
Correct. Yeah.
Good.
Milk Tanker Media.
I'm acing this quiz.
You are. Well, I got one. Before we hop back to meetups, I got one. So one user last year did a little adjustment to his username. A longtime user removed his username, instead changing it to just his name. Which user is this?
Rob,
Correct. You are nailing these questions.
formerly Wooden Railway Reviews.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we got another meetup for you. Last year we saw the meetup of not one, not two, but three users. Do you know what users were involved in this meetup?
Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise Engines.
Correct.
Now this one is a trick question. It's not a TWR user as much as a
Mm-hmm.
Toby and the Half Pipe Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it like Teen Sense or whatever? The
Yeah, you got that right too.
picture of Train's Toby profile picture guy.
Yep. Yeah, you got that. You are nailing these questions, Ted.
It's almost like I read the wiki on a different day.
That's true. I'm gonna ask this one, even though you probably know it. Now these two users have met up a couple times. However, they haven't filmed anything, and both of the times they met up. They met up in late 2016. Which users are these?
Since we've already done the MPS thing, I'm gonna go with 3 Henry the Green Engine and Hero the Japanese Train.
There you go, correct. Since we're on the meetups and I'm on a meetups page right now, we had two small users meet up in the summer. This is, from what I know, the only time either of these two users have met up with another user. Which two are these?
Oates Boats and Duncan Wooden Railway, and Mike dropped soon after Oates Boats left.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. It could be. I have no idea. But I know Duncan Wooden Railway met up with Ringo Railway. That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't.
Maybe it was Ringo Railway. I might have got the names wrong.
I think so. Cause I don't know. I don't know what Oates Boat's been up to. I don't know if he's still around or not.
I think I got the people mixed up. Yeah, I think I got that question wrong.
Mm-hmm. I think he's gone. Okay, let's see. We'll do this. So last year, Eric brought back, or I shouldn't say brought back, but started a new series, a new Thomas Wooden Railway series on YouTube. What is the name of this series?
I can describe this series. It's railway series based shorts that happen in random times during the railway.
Mm-hmm.
I gave him the idea for episode 6 of it.
Mm-hmm.
I got this. Don't worry. I don't know the name of his series. Let me give a guess though.
Okay.
It's probably it's something more It's something more classy rather than something more kind of like artsy sort of name. It's something more classic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't remember if it's a Thomas Wooden something, but I think it's more like railway something.
Very
I give
close.
up.
Very
Railway
close.
Railway Story? No. Railway Adventures? No.
Railway Tales.
Tales, dear Lord. Heck, my series is named something Tales or Tales something.
Mm-hmm.
Railway Tales. I was so close.
All right, I got one. This one I'm almost positive will stump you, and then afterwards you'll say it and you'll be like, "Oh, that was such a trick question." Uh, there was last year one series that I want you to say that returned. Which series was that?
Oh, this is such a trick question. I think I know the one you're referencing. Um, oh, dear Lord. Can't remember the name of this. Oh, I know. Tales of the Northwestern Railway.
There you go.
I thought you were talking about Ryan's series.
No,
And
I,
let's start.
I knew I could trick you up with that one, but you got it anyway. Good job there. Let's see.
Who was the user that made the biggest return in 2016? Urban Trains, obviously.
I think I don't know if he's even around anymore.
He's left again, I think.
I think it's one of those like, oh, what was his name? Hold on, I gotta find. Let's go to the farmer page.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. There was a huge deal made about him.
Yeah, Page
There's
Boy
a few of
72.
those.
Page Boy 72, where he brought back his series, what, Thomas the Idiot
Yeah.
Tank Engine after like 5 years or something. And he's
Yeah.
like, there's a new episode coming out, and then never came out.
Yeah.
And I remember we
That's
were
sad.
talking about like, oh, should we add him? And we're like, "Oh, well, let's not, just in case he doesn't come back. And then of course he never came back.
Yeah. And there's a few others, like Thomas Wood 123 and Thomas Wooden Guy didn't come back after they said they were going to come back.
Hmm. Well, technically, like Thomas Wooden Guy, he's kind of on Twitter, so I'm sure if he watches this, he'll probably tweet something. But
Oh, really? I didn't know he was still on Twitter.
he's on, well, not often. He's one of those where it's kind of like Origami Air Enforcer. If you say something about it, he'll tweet, and then he might tweet for a little bit afterwards, but then he'll kind of disappear. He's not all that active on Twitter, but he is still somewhat alive on Twitter.
Huh.
Let's see. I'm surprised you're answering all these. I'm running out of questions for you.
So is the way.
All right, we had one user come and go, or go and come and go. I don't know. He came and left a couple times in
It's not
2016.
Kikray.
No, not this year. It's not Kikure.
Don't you mean like 2013 or 2014?
Well, yes, and I probably can go for that. Oh, actually, no. After I've been here since 2011. Oh boy, but yeah, like, but no, not Kikure this time.
Okay. And that's such an outdated joke. Kikray hasn't left and come back in such a long time.
I know. It's 2017 now. Still don't have a page for the wiki, but I'm sure we'll have it eventually. But
So for a guy that came back?
yes, but who was a guy that left, came back, and I think left? Yeah, he left again.
Dear Lord. Okay. Uh, out of a guess, is it like, I have, is it Ivo Hugh 123?
No, it's actually my first wrong one for you. Uh,
I've had
T
a few wrong ones.
TWES Todd.
Never heard of him.
Like, I
Oh, that kid, now I remember him.
yeah,
Okay. He was the prototype Timothy guy, I think, right?
I think so. Something
Alright.
something like that.
Alright, okay.
Well, there was. Let's see. This one you should get. This one you should get. What movie came out in 2016 for Thomas?
Oh dear lord, I get this name wrong all the time. I'm clueless when it comes to the actual show. Ah,
I should have done more of these then.
oh god. I saw this. I did a reaction live stream. It was god. Was it the Great Railway Show?
Very close. Very, very close. The Great Race.
Okay.
Now
There's
this,
barely any racing in that movie. It's just
yeah,
like 2 minutes.
that's true. I think I got another one that could stump you. Now
Should be called the Great Shunting.
that's true, because they had one race and the engines broke down. Or Gordon at least did. But I've got this one. I think. Oh shoot, I can't think of it. I just had a good one. No. I had a good
We're
one for you.
talking about the series and
Yeah, I
that sort
know,
of
but
stuff.
it was off topic for. Oh, no, no, no. I got it. I got it. I got it. All right. Now, I don't watch the TV series anymore, but there was a new character introduced, I think, this last season, and it's not an engine. What is it, and what is this character's name?
I know about this because I really wish they make a model of it. Is it Bradford the Brake Van?
Oh, correct. I think I saw that on Twitter not too many days ago that made me think of it. But yeah, that's
I see
correct.
stuff on Twitter. Yeah,
That's where I found out about it.
just Twitter. But I wish they made a model of that. The NW Brake Van is so overpriced right now.
I haven't checked, but the last time I checked, I know it's up there.
The prices of everything that you would use in a series are going up, up, up.
To time, I mean, it used to be like everything 94 down was really expensive. Now you can get that at like about the price you would get for a new item at the store, which if you want 92 engines, that's good. But
But then stuff like the NW Brake Van or even like Murdoch have gone skyrocketing in price.
hmm yeah, the useful items that they didn't make a lot of are now a lot of money.
Yeah, it's actually more of use as opposed to the collecting.
hmm Yes. I think I got another one for you. This could be the last one. All right. So, in 2016, a new collab channel took YouTube by storm and is probably, no, it is the most subscribed to collab channel, I'm pretty sure, in the community. What channel would that be?
Our Thomas Swim Railway Community. I'm just joking.
Correct.
Oh god, that's so much outdated. I mean, no one even understands that reference in these days. But
Yep.
um, is it grease and oil?
It is grease and oil. I had a feeling you might get that.
Fuel and tar.
Yes, grease, and oil. And I loved when you first got on Twitter and you didn't understand what grease and oil was.
I didn't understand anything was when I was on Twitter, and I was just like, "Whoa, new stuff,
Oh, I
new
forgot.
stuff."
It's like, we always were talking to each other, but like, I didn't talk to you about any of that stuff. We had our own interests to talk about. But then I kind of thought, like, after you came back, I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't really mention any of that to him.
No, I didn't know anything. I don't mind though. It's all interesting.
Like, you didn't
Good
know
things
what a
to know.
welcome Stanley is.
I did not know that giving such graceful entrances and good tidings to Stanley upon arriving was such a grand scale across the community at the present moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
And I really elaborated deeply in those words.
it's it's really taken the community by storm. Let's see. Maybe there's something from 2015 I can ask you because you were absent at the end of 2015.
Yeah. From the summer on, I was gone, and really, I was actually kind of gone from February on,
Mm-hmm.
more or less.
Uh, okay. This one. I'm going to be vague with this question, so you probably won't understand it, but we will do it anyway. Uh, Now, this was an item released in late 2015 that was considered a 2016 item. Several users reviewed it. It is a different version of one of the engines, and it received mixed reactions because it was in an episode for about 5 seconds. What item am I talking about?
Thinking. Was it 5 seconds, you say? Merchandising, 5 seconds. Merchandising, 5 seconds. I saw a review on this the other day. Was it like the box crates on Den and Dart?
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. The one I'm thinking of is Streamline Emily.
What?
Streamlined Emily.
What?
Yeah, Streamlined Emily.
What?
Streamlined
What?
Emily.
Could they pick a worse engine to Streamline?
Have you ever heard of or seen that item before?
No.
Oh, well,
No.
I will have to show that to you when we're done with this.
Interesting. I'll Google it in the meantime.
It's, yeah. Yeah, it's something.
Wait, that was in the episode?
Yeah, well, it was like a dream where she's like
Oh dear lord.
envisioning herself being streamlined. And it was like in a little cloud for 5 seconds.
The cloud's even worse. Her face sticks out so much.
Did you see the
Okay.
picture yet?
Yeah, I see all the pictures. Okay?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
see too many pictures.
Yep. That's they made that. Which
Okay.
I mean, I guess if you need a custom to streamline, there's something you can use.
Okay, good to know. Very good to know.
Oh, I got another one for you. In 2015, a user changed his new username. That's all I'm going to give you, because if I give you this next thing, I think it'll be pretty obvious. Which user was that? I'll give you a hint, because I think you'll struggle.
Hint.
Alright, the hint. Many consider this new username a downgrade from the original one.
I would say Rob, but we already talked about him. Let's go. I got this. Users, who are they out there?
And
There
many
was that.
people hope.
There's that one guy who changed him to Ethan P, but I don't think you're talking about
No.
him.
And many people hope he brings back his old username.
I don't know. Who is he?
Oh, I just gave it to you, Ted. MPS.
Oh, MPS, yeah. That happened when I was still here.
I didn't know if it did or not, but it was one of the trivia
but-
and other events under 2015.
No, that happened when I was still here. The whole hashtag bring back 2002.
And now he's 2017. Probably at least for the month of January.
Heck, I did the whole campaign that if we got 2002 retweets, that he would actually bring it back.
I know. It's perhaps a decent amount, right?
No, it's 60.
See, I
It's
mean,
like 1%, 2%.
but it's a percent.
It's a percent.
We just need one of us to get to stardom on Twitter, so then we
But
get
if-
2,000.
But if my Camtasia rendering has taught me anything, that if it gets to 1%, there's a 0% chance of getting to 100%.
Well, hopefully it does better than Camtasia then.
Anyways, that's that.
Wow,
Yeah,
I think that TWES Todd's going to be the first person ever to leave the community 2 straight years.
Did he leave in 2015 or
Yeah,
20?
we have him under users who left in 2015, but since he came back and left again in 2016, he counts as a user who left in 2016 as well.
So he's currently left the community. Is his current status?
Yes, he's no longer
Okay.
active. That's kind of like Diamond Thomas. He returned last year, but I'm pretty sure he's not active anymore. We'll have to go through the actives lists sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to clean out the gutter, so to speak, soon.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still considered active. Guy and Roder or Roder, whatever. But he still kind of uploads.
Yeah, that guy uploads. It's interesting. It's an old soul.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't really talk to anybody within the quote unquote Thomas Wood and Railway community.
Yeah, it's an interesting guy.
But
It's an interesting dynamic. I've always looked up to him for being the oldest on the list,
mhm,
but that's neither here nor there.
mhm. Yeah, and I don't know. He's been around. Yeah, he's won. Diamond Thomas is still around from 2007, but there's not really many from those later years. I mean, the next is 2008, and I'm 2008. So, and I
Yeah.
know we have Matt T under 2008, but he's been around before that. But I mean, there's not that many older ones left. I mean,
No.
even now you're considered old, Ted.
Yeah, I'm considered ancient nowadays. And I was only 2012.
I know. I remember when you came on. You weren't even around for the Jack War.
I was after the Jack War. I was just after the Jack War.
Oh, you were a viewer of the Jack War.
Not even. I never saw Jack's channel.
I thought you were. I thought you were like kind of.
I was probably a Geek reviewer at that time, but not much else. I didn't see a single video about Jack until the first video about Jack I saw was the "You Can't Win" from Wooden Railroad Reviews,
Oh, that's a classic.
and I think that was after the whole thing was over. And I think I saw that when it first was uploaded.
Yeah, that was there. There's a lot of those users are gone. I mean, like myself, Kikare, MPS, technically Roberto are still around.
Yeah,
Oh, and
like
Rob.
I mean, when I started on the community, the people I talked to on Skype all the time were like Johnny, Roberto, Liam,
Hmm.
Jack Calloway. The list goes on. Aiden, those sorts of people, and those people have all left slash don't aren't active at all. I
Hmm.
think Jack Calloway is kind of like every now and then he's like, "Hey, I'm alive," then dies for another 6 months.
He's been doing better though. He's been active on Twitter lately.
Yeah, that's good.
He's been somebody else besides you and me to have and MPS to have sarcastic comments with Roberto.
Very good. We need more of that.
I feel like the last like few months, the attention Roberto's directed at me on Twitter has gradually moved on to you and Jack Calloway as well.
Yeah, it's probably a nice break for you.
Yeah.
It was when I first came back. There was a whole crap ton, and looking at my notifications, it's still riddled with Roberto's. But
Mm-hmm. Although every
anyways,
time he does time hop, I'm almost guaranteed to have at least one notification.
now I got a quiz for you.
Ooh.
What user came back this week?
Ugh. No, let's remind, we're filming this technically is January 8th. Should be January 7th.
I'm not sure if the wiki's updated this yet.
I don't think it has. And I'm
I'm
not gonna
doing it
check.
now.
I'm not gonna check even if it is. Uh, Geez, Ted, you have asked me one question and you stumped me on the one question. I hate. I feel like I'm gonna say, Ted, tell me who it is, and then you'll tell me. I'll be like, shoot, I knew that, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Ted, who is it?
I'll give you a hint. Um, even though he has a relatively low amount of subscribers, he's widely known through the community, and he's only made 2 videos
Oh,
before he left.
I know who this is. I had him on Percy's Ever Present Cat.
Did you?
Percy's Ever Present Past. I did. Kilroy Communication.
That's it.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, I need to see that episode then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you haven't checked out my other ones, you can definitely check those out. Let me
I
pull.
haven't heard more than 2 words from Kilroy before.
Well, I thought like I remember in my interview with him, I asked him like, "Oh, what are your plans?" And he mentioned exactly what he did. That's what he was planning on doing. But he ended up like going away for a while, and then he eventually did it. I didn't think he was because, like, obviously he wasn't on anymore. But yeah, he came back. I'm happy for him that he came back.
And he was barely past the 100 subscription point. He's 120 now.
Hmm. Well, I think a lot of it came from winning the competition.
Well, all of it came from that. That was the only thing he ever did before he left.
And I think that whatever the competition probably had a lot of views.
Oh, the competition had 64,000, even though that was his first video on his channel.
Hmm.
And if his channel was a developed channel, that would be exploded by now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If he stayed on, he would have a great following by now.
Man, that competition, I still remember it today. That was the thing that got me to make my first video.
Oh
It did
really?
make me an active user. Like, it didn't push me to the point where I was making videos constantly, but my first video I ever made was my entry to that.
Oh wow.
And
Oh yeah, I remember you did one.
that was my first ever video.
Hmm.
And that was the only video never to use a grass sheet or a blue background. And
And didn't you
it
use?
had mostly hands. It had some string already, but it was
Yeah, I
mostly
was gonna
hands.
say, didn't you sin by using your hands in the video?
A wee bit, but it was actually partly string.
I think I
I,
remember you might have shown it to me, or maybe it's still on your channel. I don't know, but I
it's
remember
still on my
watching it.
channel.
Oh, there's something you can check out.
I don't hide my past. I let it stare you in the face.
I I would
You can
I would have my old videos up, but I deleted them all. So you got stuff
understand.
since 2011 though,
Yeah.
which is good enough. But
But
yeah.
no, I'm a pretty. I remember thinking I was a new user all the time, including until I left. I remember thinking I was a very new user. Then you get all these people like Master of Lemons and all these other new users that have joined in the past year.
Hmm.
Like the list goes on. Easy Coldy, the Toby77. I can sit here forever and name the amount of users that have come in the time that I've left. And I'm just like, holy crap! I'm an old user now.
And there's some high quality videos from these new users too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's nowadays it's the quality is high young.
And I love that.
It's it's insane how what these people are doing.
Hmm. It's great. Yeah, it's it's great. How does it feel before we finish off? Even though I said that a while ago, how does it feel to be back? Like what's different about being back than when you were here like almost 2 years ago?
Oh, the quality of videos have increased a huge amount. Everyone is the video actual production level, as the bar is continuously being raised.
Hmm.
It's thing after thing. It's just the community's progressed so much. The video quality of the smaller users and the average user has just gone way, way up, just in terms of the look and the storylines and whatnot. And it's just the actual final products have just gone up, no matter if it's a review or a episode or whatnot.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's been some great. I really like Wooden Toby. He's one of my favorite new users. But there are a lot of high quality. Like I mean, Lemmy, like you were talking about. I the one he did, the special funnel. How amazing! Like that is, like you said, that's the best review or excuse me, remake I've ever seen.
And I talk to him constantly. It's interesting. He apparently binge watched like everything in the community before he joined, and it was actually. Remember those videos we used to make every year? We still do. Malta's making it this year,
Hmm.
but like the community 2016 video.
Yep.
But at the end of those, he was watching one. At the end of those, it said, "Join today," and he was like, "Okay, I will." And so that was actually how Lemmy joined, partly.
Hey, that means these videos are getting use out of them. That's good. Here's a
But he
trivia.
was on the edge. Apparently, he binge watched like everything the community ever made, including live streams and stuff like that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, all right, I got another trivia for you. I'm pretty sure you know this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Who was the first person to make one of those videos?
One of what videos?
One of the welcome to the community that we do every year now.
Oh, Jack Calloway,
Yes, there you go. I figured you get
Blue
that.
Ball Engine. Well, I remember when that came out.
Yeah, I do too. That was,
I remember when Jack Calloway used to be active, like something every other week or so.
I know. I remember. Oh, we can go through all our I remember whens. I remember when Thomas Fan 24, Steven, when he was making videos all the time, but now nobody knows who that guy is.
No one knows who anyone was in that. Like, if you ask someone who was Bertram fan, no one knows who's Bertram fan nowadays.
Mm-mm.
No one knows Johnny's old channel.
No.
No one
Except,
knows. Heck, even Ryan, even though he's semi-active today and he's actually back on the active members list and he has an episode in production, I mean, still today the community that's not on Twitter has no clue who he is.
mm-hmm.
Even though like Harry the Hazza 47,
Oh, yes.
the list goes on. These people that used to be like big users back in the day, no one knows at all.
Yeah. I remember there's one user, Steffi 2014, and I remember the original Tank Engine Studios, when we were first doing that was 2012, I think. Uh, I was considering adding him as a member, and like Tank Engine Studios ended up ending because we did our TWR community instead. But anyway, like I thought it was so weird because I'm like, I think that was 2011, 2012. Anyway, I'm like, wow, 2014 is so far away, and now it's like we're in 2017. That's 3 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And the list goes on. I'm like, Tencent01. When was the last time you heard anyone say Tencent01?
And he, back in the day, he had some of the best videos.
Well, everyone knew who Tencent01 was.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a single user in the community in 2012, even though he had left 2 years on at this point,
Mm-hmm.
that didn't know who Tencent01 was.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you remember this one. Do you remember Henry Fan 88?
Oh yeah,
He had
he had a picture of a beetle on his
mm-hmm.
profile picture for a while.
He did a lot of remakes, and I mean, if his videos were still around today, obviously his videos would be poor quality compared to what they are now. But I remember back then,
Oh yeah.
I considered his remakes like some of the highest quality remakes the community had to offer at the time. I really loved his remakes.
Yeah, and like, heck, even Damien is starting to fade into obscurity nowadays.
And he was on for a long time. He was the longest tenured member, but now a lot of people have blown him away. I'm pretty sure
Oh
anybody
yeah,
who's been on
you've
here
probably
since
blown away.
2010 now. I mean, I think he was on for like 5 years.
I remember when like 5 years, and I remember when 4 years was a big anniversary, and now heck, I'm at 4 years. I remember when the longest anyone had ever been in the community was 4 years in a few
Mm-hmm.
months.
Well, now like this is gonna be my ninth year in the community, so that means next year's year 10. It's crazy.
I'm entering my fifth. It's insane.
Yeah, I forgot about that. You've been on a while too now.
I know. I'm actually an old user now. It's insane how time sneaks up on you.
I mean, even looking at the 2012, like we have a decent amount of 2012 users left, but still, I mean, there's let me look at the former members quickly. There's the 2012, we got a decent, we probably have about a little less 2012 users than current 2012 members, but I mean like Enter the Engines, that was the female, right? That was like one of the first female members. Am I correct?
Yeah. What about that one other? What about that other female person?
Or was that, or am I mixing that one up with Railway of there is a female.
Your Railway of Soda was that. That was
Yeah.
the female person. Enter the Engines was not.
See, they've been long. They've been gone. I had a feeling, yeah. But they've been gone so long, it's like easy to mix them up. But there's like Bertram Fan 1, we talked about him, Liam. Then there's, oh, do you remember Donald Douglas?
Yeah, dude, I used to love his videos. I watched every single one of his reviews.
And people didn't like him because he had like all the rare items, and he had like 10 troublesome trucks, 10 troublesome brake vans, like 10 Knapford coaches essentially. And like that's not much of an exaggeration of what he actually had.
And he had like every single variation of everything too.
Mm-hmm. And like I just remember the videos showing him all off.
Yeah.
And then
No, he was a great user.
oh, here's a user you probably forgot about, LNER Flying Scotsman.
Well, I'm sure I don't message with him every day.
Oh, he's been gone, but I think the community's better off without him.
You know, his channel back in the day, he used to have something like 400 subs. And when I first joined in 2012, the amount of subscribers this community had was like way less. A channel that was large, like the kind of like the second tier channels, was like 400 subs.
Hmm.
If you had like 800 subs, holy crap, that was like When Railway Reviews and Person Number Six sort of level. That
Hmm.
was like high up there. And then Kikre had can't remember, but I think Kikre and J. Louvier had a few thousand, and that
Yeah.
was like, holy crap, that's insane. They're massive.
Well, I even remember when Jay Louvier, when Josh, when he had 100 subscribers, because technically he got added to our TWR community. Fun fact. uh, oh, let's not talk about that. But
Let's forget about that channel ever existed.
yes, that that was a
Which is
disaster from
just
the start.
a, the other name for Origami Air Enforcer.
Hmm. Oh, even a user like James is 5, that was a big name guy back in the day.
Yeah,
I mean, he used to be my Ted. He was the guy I talked to all the time.
yeah. I never talked. I've never heard of that. I've heard of that guy. I shouldn't say that, but I never
Hmm.
heard much about him.
Yeah, he did. You've probably seen his videos. He just did
Yeah, I saw
stop,
his videos.
like he did stop motion for his
Yeah,
remakes, which we
that's a
don't
lost art nowadays.
like. The only one that does it is Origami Air Enforcer, and he doesn't upload too much. I can't think of another person who still does it.
Other than fight scenes and enterprising
Hmm.
engines, there's nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and then do you remember Smudger Sir Handle?
Yes, that was the first user I ever saw.
I think I remember you saying that. Yeah.
And he had that picture of Bertram on his profile picture,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember him. I remember his last days of activity in like, it might have been 2011 or early
I think
2012 or
about
something
that.
like that.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
he.
remember right before he left.
I talked to him a decent amount back in the day because he joined a month or less before I did.
Yeah,
So he was around essentially. I essentially saw his entire time on YouTube. Uh, oh,
yeah.
I don't know if you know this guy, Andrexio Studios.
I've heard about him a lot.
Now this guy would, what he would do is he'd make custom engines. Pretty much do this all on Paint. He'd also make custom engines of users. So like he'd make Percy number 6 as an engine, Keeker 824 as an engine. Trains
It's
Are
pretty
Cool
hard
2
to
as an
make a
engine.
Percy number 6, dear lord. He must have toiled away on that one.
Not really. He just changed. All he did was he took Percy. This is how he did it. I kind of remember. I'm pretty sure this is how he did
I'm
it.
joking because Percy is number 6.
But that's not how he did it, actually. He took Percy and he's like, "What's your favorite number and color?" I'm like, "Blue and 5." So he changed the Percy from green to blue, and then he changed the number from 6 to 5.
Huh.
So then, like, he just.
Percy number 5 then.
Yep, yep.
Percy number 6's custom was Percy number 5.
Mm-hmm. Just like Oliver number 5.
Yeah. Whatever.
But
Just like Oliver, yeah, Oliver number 6.
but well, I don't think anyone's gonna get that reference though.
No, that was just for you. It was
Yep.
just for you.
Uh, yeah. Oh man, looking at these former users though. Oh, like Arbophil. You remember Arbophil?
I remember Arbophil. Arbophil was one of the ones I talked to a bit. Not talked to, but yeah, I talked to him.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
talked to him a wee
remember.
bit at the end.
Oh, it almost seems like yesterday. I remember pretty much a night like this where I'm up talking to you late. Instead, it would be like Damien, myself, Ryan, Arbophil,
Yeah.
and Roberto. We would be up late talking because, like, Roberto, it's midnight right now for him, so he could stay up late. But yeah, like, I remember those. That was like, and it would seem like it would always be like, oh, we'd be in a big Skype call beforehand talking about like Jack, and then afterwards it'd just be like the four of us because we'd be the last four up, and we just talk about whatever.
Yeah, I understand. There's kind of like a similar thing. There's 14 or so users that are in a Skype group.
Hmm.
that are close knit that I've been added to for a while.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's Lemmy and I are that equivalent of that Skype group.
Hmm.
That everyone goes to bed and then it was just Lemmy and I talking for 3 hours.
Yeah, I know you're willing to stay up an extra hour or two.
Yeah, 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 basically.
Yeah, there's some great, and even like we talked about him earlier, but like Thomas Wooden 123, he had high quality remakes at the time, and I mean even today, from 2009, I think those remakes still hold up in value. I think they're still high quality remakes today.
Yeah, you know that Natford Trevor guy from 2013 who used to be Fred the Coal Car.
Oh yeah,
He's gonna make a comeback soon.
yeah, I've heard that. I think he left sometime last year, and he messaged me the other day. But yeah, he's on his come. He should be coming back hopefully soon.
He's actually in that Skype group with all those people who talk all the time,
Oh really?
and he's actually a pretty nice guy.
Yeah,
And
he's like I was telling you earlier. Like I always have people. Like if I want to talk about sports, I'll talk to Malta. If I want to talk about
yeah,
Liberland's politics, I'll talk to you.
basically,
But like him, he watches Big Brother and Survivor, and I watch that. So whenever I want to talk about that, well, I'll just chat with him for like however long, and we'll talk about the last Big Brother season, last Survivor season. He's very knowledgeable about them, so we'll go back and
yeah,
talk about past seasons too. See, I always have a guy.
yeah. Hey, did you hear about that big football game? I think there's a big one today or tomorrow or something.
Yeah, playoffs, NFL playoffs started.
Yeah, I know. I know American football. You know,
Yep.
well.
Oh, I got another one. This here's a group channel that closed down in 2013. Can you think of it?
Well, isn't that a trick question?
It should be.
It's for Tank Engine Studios.
No, but you are
No,
involved with this.
that was 2012. That would be.
No. I'm pretty sure this is 2013. That's what it has on
No,
this wiki.
no. Tank Engine Studios would have been 2012.
Yeah, but this one was
I
20.
don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to say it and you'll be like, oh yeah, and then we're going to talk about that for a few minutes because that's how
Sounds
this
good.
usually works. Railway Series Reviewers.
Oh, that wasn't even Community. That was just me and Johnny watching crap episodes.
I ended up making a channel, or I ended up making a page for it on the wiki because I'm like, it counts. I forget, we had something else that counted, so I'm like, this definitely counts.
That was just one railway guy screwing around, reacting. I can't remember how that started.
I just remember you guys filming, like you would just watch an episode, kind of like this, except there's an episode in the background, you just would talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm essentially just looking through the wiki and we're talking about it right now, but
No, we would do a Camtasia record. I would record his audio, I would record my screen, and we would react to an episode.
mhm.
And then for a while we had 3 episodes a week coming out, and
It was a very
we had
active channel.
classic Sundays, the most holy day of the week. Then where we would react to a classic series episode, and we would just say commentary, whatever came to our minds. And
Mhm.
then we had I can't remember. It was we had something for every day of the week. You
Well,
pick
I'm on it.
Saturdays.
You
Now I
pick
remember. Whatever was
Saturdays, fail
and Fail
Fridays.
Fridays.
Yep.
The 3-day run there.
Mhm.
So we would have the weekend chop filled with these.
Well, I don't know if you remember this, but I do, and it's on the wiki, so I have all the details of it. But remember, like after, because Johnny left, and that was part of the reason that was the main reason that the channel went down. But you were considering bringing it back, and we had actually filmed videos for Railway Series Reviewers,
Yeah.
and somehow they
My
got lost.
recording device didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, so you couldn't upload them, and then we're like, well, we don't need to do it now. But yeah, like that was gonna come back. I guess
I've
in
always considered bringing it back. It's always been on the table. If I ever have time, I might.
Yeah, I mean that was to an extent that was like the first like grease and oil or even Percy's ever present past of the day.
Oh yeah, we just went and reacted. It was
Hmm.
something small. I was gonna have three different people I would react to. I would have it with yourself, MPS, and one other person. I can't remember now.
Hmm.
I can't remember. I think I was just gonna rotate the last position.
Yeah,
Just gonna
because
rotate between people.
I couldn't even remember when I made that, when I made the page. That's why I only put myself, because I didn't even. I know you mentioned a couple other people, but I couldn't
I
think of who
think
they
what it
were.
was I was gonna have you for one show.
Hmm.
I would have MPS for another show, and then I would rotate through other people for the last.
Okay. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
still don't know. It's the channel's still up there. I'm actually on the behind the scenes version. You know, like when you look into it
Hmm.
from like I'm logged into the account right now.
Oh,
And fun
really?
fact, I shouldn't actually say this out loud. Never mind. I will not say this out loud.
Okay, that's fine. We'll keep that. We'll keep that safe.
I'll tell this to you after we're done recording this.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. I gotta go through the other group channels now and see if I'm missing one, because I feel like I'm missing a group channel. But I forgot about that one till I stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
I think, let me check, but I think I'm in just about every group channel on here, if that tells you anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's see. The only one I'm not a part of was Demand Discussions. Do you remember Demand Discussions?
I think so.
Okay, well, tell me what you think you know about it.
I feel like it was I can't remember. Can you tell?
It was, it was kind of like what Tank Engine Studios was supposed to be. It was with Jack, Sir Topham Hatt, Matt Rosado,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
Aiden.
That risotto.
Yep.
Don't be an 808, kids.
Oh yeah, that was from one of your crossovers.
That's from Eric and I's crossover.
That was a classic. I feel like it hasn't been. We haven't had that in one of the uh, crossovers in a while. We haven't talked about being in 808.
I'm not sure. It's still a joke that some people understand, but it's an old one of these old references that would have been a meme today. And back
Oh
in my
yeah.
day, before we left, we didn't have memes. We just had good jokes.
Well, that's like
We had
last year I was in Hawaii and I remember I was eating at some place and there was a sign and it says take the 808 challenge.
Don't be an 808, kids. Just remember that.
If you take anything away from this, don't be an
Don't
808.
be an 808. This has been a public service announcement from the Duck Number 6 studio.
from, from the people who brought you duck number 6.
Exactly.
Oh, except nobody knows what that means and I love that.
Exactly. If someone thought about it long enough, they could figure it out.
Oh yeah. It's not too difficult to think of. Oh man. Well, we're almost at an hour, so we just are a minute and a half away, believe it or not.
That as well.
Because I think it makes up, because the last time I had you, it was like 14 or 15 minutes. So now I'm going to have you for an hour.
It was short last time.
So we make it up. And Roberto's going to be upset because I think I had him for like 20 or 25 minutes. So he'll probably demand to come back, and I'll say I'll consider it.
I need to finish. We need to film some Roberto's reactions. I kept on asking him if it was free, but he hasn't been.
Well, hopefully he's not too far in this video, or else he's on the hook for at least 2 videos with us. And we'll be hearing about it on Twitter.
Exactly.
Oh, well, Ted, I don't know. You're back. Anything else you want to say before we finish off?
Oh, well, there's the standard God save the Queen, heaven bless the Maple Leaf forever.
Mm-hmm.
Standard stuff.
You're forgetting one thing. Brick it for Canada.
Oh yeah. Brick it for Canada. Everyone, please help Canada. The link's in the description.
Well,
Just click the button. You'll see once you're there.
push it as much as you
Just
can.
bricking it for Canada.
It's for a good cause.
Very good cause.
So yeah, Ted, first time. See, here's the fantastic list of people that I've had on. I've had on Damien, then I had on you. Unfortunately, I had on Roberto. Then I had Origami Air Enforcer. Then that guy who just returned, Kilroy Communications. I had the Thomas Wooden Railway guy, or the Thomas Wooden guy. You are the first person to be on here twice, Ted.
Very good.
Well, it's been an hour. I think now's the time to end. Man, I mean, this was easy to get to an hour. I don't. I thought it'd
Well, we
be.
just talked about the ever-present past to the community mostly.
We did. I mean, this was. It really fit the bill of Percy's ever-present past today.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, any last words before we actually do finish this off?
Well, nothing that's exactly in the context of last words, except the very words last words.
Okay, okay, I'll take it. Don't be an 808. Brick it for Canada, and duck number 6. Other than all that, this is Percy number
That's it.
6. Oliver
And
Duck.
Oliver Duck.
Thank you for listening. Goodbye.